All right, let's talk about something that is, let's be honest, incredibly frustrating. Hitting that weight loss wall. You feel like you're doing absolutely everything right, but getting nowhere. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in the right place.
So let's just ask the big question right out of the gate. Why is your weight loss stalled? You're putting in the work, you're eating clean, so why has all that progress just, slammed on the brakes? It's that feeling like your own body has decided to stop listening to you.
And you really are putting in the effort, right? You're tracking everything. You've become a master at reading labels. You're swapping out snacks for healthier options. You're doing all the hard stuff day in and day out.
And for what? That number on the scale just stares back at you. It's totally frozen. That deep frustration is real, and it's usually because there's something else going on, something happening silently, behind the scenes.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain. The answer might not have anything to do with counting more calories. We need to go a little deeper and uncover the real gatekeepers of your metabolism.
For, forever, we've been hammered with this one simple idea. It's all about calories in versus calories out. But you know what? That's the old model. We're now understanding that the real drivers, the things that are actually pulling the levers, are your gut health and your body's level of inflammation.
And this right here, this is the core idea. I want you to think about it like this. If your body's internal environment is a mess, it doesn't matter how perfect your diet looks from the outside. These gatekeepers, your gut and inflammation, they have the final say.
So, the big question is, how do we get those gatekeepers on our side? Well, it turns out that ancient Ayurvedic tradition has this amazing tool that's perfect for this very modern problem. So let's meet the star of the show. It's an herb called Gymnema sylvestre. But what's so cool is its traditional name in Hindi, Gormar, and that literally means destroyer of sugar. I mean, how awesome is that name? It tells you exactly what this thing does right off the bat. No messing around.
And look, this is not some new age fad. We're talking about an herb that's been documented and used for over 2,000 years in traditional medicine. It's only been in the last 30 years or so that modern science has started to go, whoa, wait a minute, and actually confirm what ancient healers seem to know all along.
Okay, so how does this sugar destroyer actually, destroy sugar? Let's geek out a little on the science of what's happening inside your body, because it's actually pretty brilliant.
So it all boils down to these things called gymnemic acids. Here's the play-by-play. First, these acids look a whole lot like glucose molecules, so they rush into your intestines and basically sit in all the parking spots, the sugar receptors, before the actual sugar can get there. It's a temporary blockage, but it means less of the sugar you eat actually makes it into your bloodstream. And, as if that wasn't cool enough, some studies suggest it even helps protect and support the cells in your pancreas that make insulin. Wild, right?
Now, what's really amazing is that this one simple action, this sugar-blocking mechanism, it sets off a whole chain reaction of positive effects throughout your entire body. So it's about so much more than just managing sugar.
And you can just see that ripple effect right here. When you help stabilize your blood sugar, guess what happens next? Those insane, intense sugar cravings start to quiet down. And when you're not on that sugar roller coaster, it helps create a healthier gut, which in turn helps manage that inflammation we were just talking about. Then you see better cholesterol support and, ultimately, more stable natural energy. See how it's all connected? It's a holistic win.
Now, for so many people, this one benefit is the absolute game changer. The gymnemic acids can actually latch onto the taste receptors on your tongue and just turn off your ability to taste sweetness for a little while. So imagine trying a sugary donut and it just tasting blah. You're not fighting the craving with willpower. The craving itself is just gone. That's a whole different ballgame.
And listen, this isn't just theory. It's all backed by some really solid science. You've got researchers like Dr. Kasahara and Dr. Ryu who confirmed this competitive inhibition, that whole parking spot idea. And then look at this study by Dr. Preuss. In just 8 weeks, people saw a real reduction in body weight and appetite. The modern research is really catching up to the ancient wisdom here.
Okay, so you get the why, you get the how, but what about the what now? Let's talk about some of the practical things you need to think about if you're considering this for your own health journey.
As you can see, you've got options. The most popular way is through capsules, which makes sense. They're super convenient and give you a standardized dose every time. But you can also go more traditional with things like herbal teas and powders, or even use a concentrated liquid extract.
All right, I need you to listen very closely here because this is super, super important. Because this herb is so good at lowering blood sugar, its biggest potential side effect is your blood sugar going too low. That's hypoglycemia. And this is especially critical to understand if you're already taking medication for diabetes. It's a definite no-go if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. So here's the bottom line, the #1 rule. You absolutely must talk to your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before you even think about starting this. Seriously.
So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. We always frame weight loss as this big fight, right? A battle of restriction and forcing ourselves to do things. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if the real goal isn't restriction at all, but restoration? What if it's not about fighting your body, but about helping it find its natural balance again? It's a pretty big shift in perspective and a really powerful question to ask on your journey. Thanks so much for tuning in.